I'm awake! I'm awake! I'm awake. Oh, okay. Tan Nation is doing another league. Racing GT2s, alright. These are the GT2s that came out with this Autocorsa Competizione, right? Okay, what about the Gorilla Mods GT2s? Well, what are we gonna be racing then? Ah. Yeah. We can try and make these work. Alright, let's just log a few laps in the simulator, and we will see how good... Alright, jokes aside, it feels good to be back covering another series of races after a long time of being away, and we're starting off with a banger of a track. Hailing from the Gran Turismo series, our first race will take place in the Autodromo Lago Maggiore. Now, with this new way that I'm trying to structure my videos, this would normally be the place where I give a brief rundown of the location and history of this track, but it really doesn't have any, both because it's a fantasy track, though I'm sure there are plenty of fantasy tracks out there with some very well-written lore, and because there's not much else to say about it other than it was first created for Gran Turismo Sport, which launched back in 2017. With that said, before I get into talking about the track itself, I want to take a quick moment to talk about the cars that we'll be driving for this series. The BMW M3 and Ferrari 458 GT2 may be 15 and 13 years old respectively as of the recording of this video, but they still have most of the fixings that we associate with GT cars. The only luxury not present here is anti-lock brakes, meaning that managing your braking is going to be a critical part of getting the most out of your car. As to which car you should choose, both have their strengths and weaknesses. Generally speaking, from my time spent with both cars, the BMW offers a more stable platform, but the Ferrari lends itself more to pushing the limits of your tires. Me personally, I prefer the Ferrari, but in the end, the choice is yours, and yours alone. Nobody's gonna get that reference. Whatever, we'll just go into the... The majority of the first sector is going to be spent compromising your corner exits to get the best entry into the following turn. Brake around the 100 board for turn 1 and keep as far left as possible for a good entry into 2. Get on the power as early as you can and arc your way through turn 3, before doing the same for turn 4. Be careful though. Not only is there a nasty crest in the middle of the corner that will upset the car on exit if you're not careful, but the outer track limits have been patched from their original version to be much more strict. Steer clear of the outside curb as much as possible, as I show here. Use the end of the white curbing on the left for your brake reference into turn 5, being careful not to get on the throttle too early or too aggressively, otherwise the back of the car will get unsettled. Turn 6 is deceptively wide on exit, so take a narrow entry and hug the curb as much as you can before going full throttle through turns 7, 8, 9, and 10, using the car's momentum to swing through the turns without losing traction. The big banked hairpin of turn 11 lets you brake late with the massive incline leading into the turn, but you'll still have to wait for the car to hook up before getting back on the power. The following turns, 12 and 13, are taken flat, but be mindful of your line through 13, as it's easy for the front to bottom out over the curb. Use the left flag stand as a brake marker for turns 14 and 15, a double apex complex. Going over the outside curb here will invalidate your lap as well. From there, make a mad dash to the final corner, braking somewhere before the 50 board, and getting back on the power when you feel the front of the car grip up. And that was a flying lap of Lago Maggiore GP. I did my hot lap on soft tires instead of super softs because of how quickly the super softs tended to overheat and wear, and increasing the tire pressures to mitigate said heat tended to reduce the braking abilities of the cars to unacceptable levels as a side effect. If you plan on making a qualifying setup using the super softs, keep that in mind. Setups with stiffer suspensions and just the right amount of downforce will thrive here with how many fast-flowing corners line the track. Careful not to go too stiff on the rear suspension though, because while it may give you a little bit of extra drive off of some corners, it'll make the car real twitchy and unstable out of others. You might also want to look into adjusting the front suspension travel to prevent it from bottoming out. However, take note of how it affects the handling of the car, as this is not a silver bullet solution. Finally, the estimated fuel needed for each car and the estimated lifespan of each tire compound will be shown on screen in this fancy looking graphic. Alright, so this last section is just going to be me rambling about things with no script, so if you've gotten all you want out of this video, I will see you next week at Sebring, but for those of you who are still listening, I'm just going to be spouting off some stuff. First things first, I have no idea what to name this series anymore. I've outgrown the Bob Ross parody style of videos that kind of, looking back on them, looked like real low quality. It felt like there wasn't much effort put into them, and that's what I want to try and rectify this season. So, if you have any ideas for a title to make this series, please let me know, and I'll probably re-release this as I'll probably re-release this video with a proper title card. Another thing too, I don't know if I would be able to upload these to YouTube, mainly because of the copyright. I try to use video game OSTs and all that, like I put the music that I use in the end credits, but honestly, there are some video game songs that people do hunt the copyrights down for and just take down videos, and I'm just real afraid of that. The last thing here I want to say, I haven't been streaming as much as I want to, mainly because I've just been focusing on improving myself physically and mentally. I've been exercising more, and I'm trying to learn Japanese, mainly more as like a fun thing, more than like out of, a necessity or anything. Also think it'd be nice if I went and re-recorded the Suzuka video with proper translation instead of me just running through Google Translate and reading off of that. And another thing too, these videos have really helped me understand filmmaking, I guess you could say, to some degree. And with that said, I really hope to make more of these in the future. So, that's pretty much all I wanted to say. Thank you to those who listened to my short little ramble here. It's about 2.5 minutes long. And I will see you in next week's video when I cover Sebring. Until then, good luck, and have a good one, and thank you for watching.